Hello. If you're asking the perfectly reasonable question, which is, what are you doing taking photos in the middle of the night? The answer is, I don't know. It's crazy. But my mate Chris over there's to blame. He said he wanted to come out and photograph the coast, and I thought, yeah, great idea. And when we turned up, the street light, so the moon's really having no effect. Anyway, in the great British spirit, carry on regardless, and I'm photographing Mary's Shell out at Thornton using the street lights and maybe a bit of moon, you never know. I've never shot at night before. I'm photographing at f4. I'm shooting on bulb. Obviously I'm not using any filters because it's pitch black. And I'm shooting on ISO 100, and I'm using an exposure of around 2 to 3 minutes. And it seems to be giving me a fairly decent image. In colour, everything's all over the place. There's blue in the sky, there's orange because of the orange street lighting and stuff. But you know what? In black and white, it's looking quite interesting. I quite like the light on Mary's Shell. And for anyone who doesn't know, Mary's Shell is a steel sculpture that sits in the sea here off the coast of Thornton near Blackpool. I photographed it lots of times. It is a cracking little place to shoot. And let's just have a look and see what am I getting here. That should do. That's coming in at 3 minutes there, 180 seconds, and I'm getting quite a weird little picture. I don't think it's very good, to be honest, but it's an interesting experience. And if you've never done it before, hey, get out there, take some pictures, and just don't tell your doctor, or else you might get sectioned. I think we're moving down to Lytham Pier later, and we're going to try and get something of that just using the moon. So I don't know, I can't help laughing because to me it just seems crazy. But anyway, I thought I'd let you know what I'm up to. So thanks for watching. Right, and here's the shot that I took down at Thornton. I think it's come out quite nice. I like the way that the sort of sea foam, these were the crashing, breaking waves, were being lit by the street lighting behind me, and the supermoon was illuminating these clouds up here. That's a zoomed in version of it, and I actually quite like it zoomed in like this. You can really see the shape of the actual sculpture, and it's not the best picture I've ever taken, but it's got a feeling of nighttime and almost a bit of an unusual, surreal quality, which is what you're going for when you head out in the middle of the night to take photos. So yeah, I think it's okay. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the video now. Right, I've moved a bit further down the coast. It's much quieter here. It was very noisy though, with the big waves crashing in over the steps at Mary's Shell. Not sure what I've got because I can't really tell yet, but it's quite nice here. The moonlight is a lot stronger. Well, obviously the moonlight's the same strength, but the ambient light from the street lighting is a lot less because we've walked out on the beach. So I'm a fair way out from all this lighting, which means that out here the moon is actually casting quite a decent shadow on the sand, which means that obviously, although I can't really see the pier or the old pier beyond, I know that the light is landing on it off the moon, and that's going to be picked up in a long exposure by the camera. So settings wise, f4, ISO 100, it's giving me about 2 minutes ish, 2 to 3 minutes. And from what I've seen on the back of the camera, it's looking quite good. The large clouds have moved now, and we've got some sort of skinny little thin clouds blowing through the scene, and on the long exposure it's giving these nice streaks through, and I think it's going to be quite nice. Never done it before. I've not even looked in colour because I've got my camera set to black and white, but I'm hoping to get something a bit different. You know, maybe I'll look at it and say just looks like a shot in the day, but I'm hoping it has a slightly different feel to it. So anyway, you'll be able to see after this video what I've got from these two locations, and thanks for watching. Okay, well I've got 4 pictures here that I took at St Anne's, all very different, and I'm going to start with this one. This was the main idea that I wanted to capture, this sort of shot. It's the classic shot, really. The end of the old pier, the end of the new pier, should I say, and the old pier, with these clouds streaking through and the sort of the tide coming in. So you've got all this water here and the sort of reflections. I think it works quite nicely. There's a couple of good points, a couple of bad points. Love these dots on the horizon. I think they're like oil rigs or something like that. Gas rigs, I don't know what they do, but they're glowing anyway, and they create a nice little detail. And I love these streaks in the sky with the stars moving. I think they work really well, but as I zoom in on it, you can see the major problem. I've destroyed the quality of the image. Look how noisy that's got, and that's basically my processing. I've pushed it too hard, I've played with the colour channels too much, and it's just degraded the image. So if I did like this shot sufficiently enough, I'd go back and I'd re-edit it and do it. I'd take my time and I'd just do it again so that it was a lot cleaner in the sky. But to be honest, it's not my favourite shot and I'm not that bothered about it. So it's good enough to show you, but I won't be printing it or anything, so there's no need. Right, this is better. Having shot that, I sort of moved on towards the rest of the pier. And this works really well for me. I like this. I like the feeling that it's got. It's got a kind of surreal quality that you don't get in the day. I have taken this shot in daylight. It doesn't have this kind of feel to it. There's water in surrounding it, and that's why you've got the reflections. You know, this isn't just wet sand. This is actually the water, and I like it. It's nice and clean. And quite punchy and a bit different. And what I'm doing here is, as I'm working through this period of about an hour, I'm sort of working my way through the scene and finding out what it is that I'm really enjoying. And having shot this, I worked to this, and I'd seen something that appealed to me, and it was these greens, this sort of turquoisey colour of the light in this window and the orange on the other side, so they were contrasting. Just a lovely creamy colour of the jetty. Obviously I couldn't see that at the time, it was just sort of these lights that I could see, but with the textures in this sand and the nice blue sky and this streak of green going through the middle, I just think it works. I think it looks good. I'm happy with that. And having taken it, my thought process is always, right, I think I've got something I quite like. How can I improve on it? How can I take a better version of this image? Which led me on to my final picture and my favourite picture, which is this one. I thought, let's make a feature of this green. So let's move closer to it and let's add a bit of dynamism to the composition by making this a diagonal. And it was interesting, this section of the pier is lit by the moon. You can see the shadows here being cast, and these are being cast by the moon. And yet further along here, this is being lit by a hotel, which was casting this shadow. There was a hotel with big halogen lights on, illuminating all this section. So, you know, it doesn't matter where the light comes from. Light's light, ultimately. And yeah, it's a shot I've never seen, and I love creating anything which is original. And to me, this is an original shot taken at night, and I'm very happy with it. So that's me done. I just like to do a quick review of the photos that I took, show you what I got up to. And please, in the comments below, let me know which your favourite shot is. There's 5 images here, because I can include, of course, the one from Mary's shell. So let me know your favourite, and get out there yourself and do it. Apparently there's 2 more supermoons before the end of January, so you're going to have a couple more opportunities to get out, creating this kind of image yourself, and go for it. It's great fun. It is surreal, photographing out in basically in the dark, and you think, I'm not going to get anything, but when you look at the images, they do have a nice quality to them. So yeah, get out there, give it a try yourself, and remember, if you've not subscribed, click subscribe below the video and you'll be able to see all my future content. I've got lots of ideas coming up, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.